Hello?
Good morning.
Oh, good. The sound is working. Let me plug this in.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, good. I've decided that my job is really do whatever the hell my boss wants me to do. That's my job. I'm working from home today instead of having the day off because she wants me to do something. Like, okay.
All right. Okay.
So if
All
I
right.
have to go, I have to go, but it is what it is.
Okay. I'm going to try and disconnect this. So give me a second.
Okay.
All right. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, cool. And I can hear you. All right, good.
Okay, good. I wonder if Anna saw that you posted. I think is in Messenger. So my hair, I swear, it grows up here, but doesn't grow down here. Like
That's weird.
I can't explain it to you. Like my roots will start to show, but it's still shorter than ever.
That's funny. You're like, why isn't it growing?
My daughter asked me the same thing. She's like, "Did you get your hair cut again?" I'm like, "No."
Oh my gosh.
So, oh, there she is.
Okay. Oh.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, and what closet are you in today?
I decided to try this in my office. I
Ooh.
am sitting in the yellow chair. We have my mother-in-law's dog with us today.
Very
I
nice.
had to decide if it would be better to put her out in the hallway and have, and the cat's here too.
Oh, hey, kitty.
Yes, I don't know if you can see her, whatever. Anyway, or have her scratch at the door the whole time, or just have her in here. Oh man, they're gonna battle. I'll be right back. I gotta kick the cat out.
They're gonna battle. Okay. Cats and dogs.
I'm
Fun.
telling you. You know, I love the idea of doing this fear this morning because it really, I was reading a bunch of,
Lago thinks that I belong to her, and so she
Oh.
defends her territory around me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
But anyway, I put her pet bed next to me and on the floor. Hopefully it'll be good. So anywho.
You know, I was just
Okay.
telling Amanda that I'm so glad we're doing the fear talk today because I was reading a whole bunch of comments on our post last night. And the amount of people that ask, should I do this? Should I do that? What do you think this is? What do you think that is? And I'm like, I get it because I do it myself, right? In my own brain. I didn't name my bad person yet, but you know what I mean. Didn't name my Josie. How's that? But You know what I'm talking about. But I want to sit there and I'm like, okay, I know. Is that what I sound like? I guess is kind of what I wanted to. Express is that it's like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't sound like that to the world too, because really I should be looking inside and, you know, I should trust my own judgment first, right? And the people that I'm listening to are not doing that. Even one person says, well, I think I know what it is, but what do you think it is? And I thought to myself, okay, let's step back. Because if you know what it is, that's what it is, right? There is no kind of what it might be, or, you know, if you know, but it's that fear of like allowing ourselves to know, because what if we got it wrong? Or what if we mess up? Or, you know, something like that. So I was so passionate about that this morning even. So I'm really glad we're talking about fear. Sorry, I didn't mean to like jump in. It is my day. I've had like coffee, Rockstar, water, already like had 2 conference calls. I'm like, I'm on that estrogen phase, day 2, you know. I even went to the store and bought all my seeds. So I have like 4 bags of seeds. I'm going to grind them all up and put them in the little bowls. And I'm so excited.
I'm just so proud of you, Kelly.
I guess I need to get on this seed thing.
You do.
I need to put it on my list so that I can do it when I want.
You could do it, yeah. Well,
when you want, as a rebel.
When you want, and when you're ready.
Yeah.
Because, you know, even if we know what we should be doing, or, you know, we have this desire, what we want to do, until it becomes an internal expectation, it's never going to actually become a habit. So, you know, go back to episode 4, 5, and you know, listen to the one about the 4 tendencies. But you know, people can tell you all day what you should do, but it's not until it becomes something that comes from the inside of you that you really want to do, that it will become a habit. So the way that it gets from the outside to the inside, though, is different for every person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's funny because also there's other exterior things that can happen that can move that. Like I had a horrible cycle last month. Horrible. And you know, I've got like the seeds, I've got everything I can possibly imagine, because I don't want that to happen ever again. So obviously I know things are changing, but anyway.
Well,
that was my external motivation.
This would probably be a really great time to bring in our listener question, because it is exactly on this topic. So we cool with that?
Absolutely. Go for it.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping I'm not going to totally mispronounce her last name. So Vanessa Wunderlich, you are our featured question for today. She is a member of Kelly and my group, Revive to Thrive, Change from the Inside Out. She is also a member of Amanda's group called, Amanda, what's your rebranded name?
The Shit Show.
I love it.
And Amanda, like, I'm going to go off topic here for a quick second. Amanda, like, literally, I was looking at your cover photo last night and I go, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that SHIT actually stood for something. It was pretty amazing. And like, I think your brand is so on point. It's so you. So what is
Thank
it?
you.
Structure, habits, intention, transformation.
Yeah.
It's so good. I already have it memorized.
There you go.
Love it.
Yes. All right. So Vanessa brings this question. She says, how does your cycle affect all the things, like when you are motivated and when you are not? Also, tell me about the seeds and what they do for you. So let's talk about this for a second.
Okay. That's great.
Excuse me. All right. So I'm going to roll it back to something like the basic, because I'm not going to assume that everybody listening here knows what's going on in their cycle. I did not until I started learning about this stuff. So basically what happens is every woman has an estrogen phase and a progesterone phase. Estrogen and progesterone are the 2 dominant sex hormones in our bodies. This is true when you are in puberty, when you're in regular menstruation, when you're in perimenopause, when you're in menopause, and when you are completely done, right? All of the phases. The levels of estrogen and progesterone will differ depending what phase you're in, as well as the speed or the rhythm at which they elevate and decline. We good so far? Okay, so I'm going to just talk really quick about a woman who is like on regular menstruation. So what the cycle does is it says, all right, days 1 through 14 approximately are the phase before you ovulate. It's the day from the first day of your period until ovulation, so about 14 days. During this time period, your body is producing estrogen at a higher level than progesterone. Estrogen will give you higher energy, your mood is going to be better, you'll sleep better, your digestion is going to be a little bit easier, your mood will be more positive. If you're working out, it's going to be easier to build muscle during the estrogen phase. I like to call this, well, I don't want to say I like to call this phase what I'm going to say, but basically estrogen is getting your body ready to be attractive enough to the opposite sex so that they will want to reproduce with you. Okay. Who wants to reproduce with a grouchy, bloated, like, blech woman? I don't feel like reproducing at that time of month. But this, like in estrogen, you're like at the top of your game. You feel amazing. Your skin is better. You're like, your workouts are better. You're just in a good mood. it's nature's way of saying, hi, I'm available for reproduction. All right. So then ovulation hits and you switch over to the progesterone phase. The progesterone phase is where your body switches into, I need to make myself ready for a life that I'm going to then grow inside of me. And so I think of estrogen as the outward phase and the progesterone as the inward phase. So during progesterone, you are not going to be attractive to the opposite sex, okay? Or even the same sex. It's just not in the pheromones or any of that. So you're gonna have a drop in energy. You are going to have more mood swings. You're going to feel more bloated because your digestion slows down. You're not gonna be able to build muscle or push hard through your workouts. So progesterone is a time for you to kind of turn inward, more rest, more nurturing, more restorative exercise, etc. So back to Vanessa's question, how does your cycle affect all the things? It affects all the things, because when we have a business that we're building or a family that we're running, we literally have a different body every week. We could even back it up. We have a different body every day. So that space that you come to work in every day, whether it's your kitchen or an office or your home office or whatever, you are literally coming at it with a different hormonal makeup every day. So if you can learn, well, what phase of my cycle am I in? You can then start to hack your activities to maximize and benefit your physical, what do you call it? Your hormonal stage, right? Mm-hmm. So Callie mentioned she's in estrogen right now. She is feeling amazing. It's great. It is a really good time during estrogen to start those big projects that might have seemed overwhelming a couple weeks ago, to set new goals, to start start implementing some of those things. It's a good time to start new. It's a really great time to hit the gym and try to build some muscle. It's a really good time to spend some time with your significant other, right? It's a good time. Progesterone is the time of the month where, for me, I'm going to speak for me personally, is I start to feel negative and discouraged. Like that negative voice in my head starts speaking louder. That third week of my cycle, right before I get my period, right? That fourth week. And it's a hormonal thing. And I'm not going to blame everything on hormones, because we are in control of our environment and our choices, and our circumstances. We have control over those things. But when you work in a business, if you've got a course that you're launching, I would not launch it the third week of your cycle, because your energy is going to be low and you're going to feel like crap, right? A good time to launch would be week 2. So starting 7 days after your period hits. Right? That's a great time to launch, because you are going to be high energy and it's going to be a good time. I also when I'm thinking of, we've got a lot of moms that listen, and their main job is to run and manage their household. I would probably not plan to do major cleanup, organization, restructuring of routine in weeks 3 and 4, because nobody's going to be happy. Right?
It's true.
So, so Vanessa, your cycle does affect all the things, because it affects how you are feeling on the inside. It affects how your physical body is going to be able to perform with the activities that you're looking to do. So if you can, adjust your systems, your routines, your expectations of yourself to match your cycle, you're going to be able to maximize your potential on any given day or week. Some people ask, well, how do I know what phase of my cycle I'm in? I am on birth control. I don't get a period anymore. Body temperature. Start taking your temperature every morning right away when you wake up. Before you get out of bed, before you sneeze, before you pick your nose, before you put your feet on the floor, before you pee, before you do anything, before you kiss your husband, before you kiss your wife. Take your temperature. And during estrogen phase, your body temperature will be lower. During estrogen, it'll drop and spike. And then during progesterone, it'll be slightly higher. And we're talking maybe a half a degree to a degree. We're not talking fever level here. So even if you're in perimenopause or in your menopause, you can take your body temperature and it'll tell you what part of your cycle you're in. So there we go. That's the answer for that.
Love it.
Love
that
it.
was really good.
That was a great
way.
Yeah. Good.
Cool.
Okay.
Should we talk about seeds real quick? Because she asked about seeds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Seeds.
So Vanessa, on to the second part of your question about the seeds. So nature has given us a really great way for us to help our body through those different stages. And one of those ways is through 4 different types of seeds. We can go all scientific here, which I'm not going to do. We dive deeper into this in the Revive to Thrive community. But on a very general level, during your estrogen phase, you can eat 1 tablespoon each of these 2 seeds every day, and it's going to help your body support the estrogen phase. It'll help your body maximize the estrogen and its roles in your body. And those 2 seeds are flaxseed and pumpkin seed. And flax and pumpkin, they contain nutrients, et cetera, that help your body do what it needs to do during the first 2 weeks during the estrogen phase. And then during the progesterone phase, the 2 seeds are sesame and sunflower. And those will help as well for your progesterone phase. Quick side note, one of the big benefits of all 4 of these seeds is it helps clear excess estrogen, because your body wants to like keep this rhythm going. And if the rhythm gets high, the seeds help to kind of bring it down. It's just like adaptogens with your cortisol levels. It's a nutrients and stuff in the seed, in the plant, that helps your body naturally keep levels where it's healthy for you. It'll actually help your body do what your body needs for itself. And it can take minimum like 3 months of doing this consistently to start seeing regular results. Most people, the results that they see are a decrease in PMS symptoms. So
That's
No.
what I'm looking for.
I'm not a
that's what I
doctor,
need.
right? I am not a medical doctor. So obviously if you have concerns or you want, like, we always recommend that you talk to your doctor before you implement new things. If you have things like endometriosis or PCOS, obviously speak to a doctor about this. They might say, yes, do this. It can't hurt. It'll totally support you. So always follow your doctor's instructions, of course. But I've found really great results from doing seed cycling. I have a lot, like no ovulation cramps anymore. And my period this last month, I had like almost 0 cramps,
Wow.
which is a really big help for me. Just navigating through. In fact, I got my period. I'm like, what? I didn't know it was supposed to be here today because I wasn't feeling PMS-y.
When mine comes, my lower back starts to hurt.
Yep. Or
Yeah,
like,
Yep.
In the lower, basically my gut starts to hurt.
Before the whole back of my bottom would hurt. Like the top of my thigh and the back of my bottom, it would just ache for a day or 2. I didn't have any of that this month.
That's
and like I
awesome.
said, like my period was almost a surprise because I wasn't experiencing the normal symptoms. So that's how it's affected me personally. Of course, it's going to affect everybody a little differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go, Vanessa. Long answer.
That was perfect.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
So jump back into fear?
Yeah. Do we need to do like a little intro about the episode too? Just like what we're going to kind of talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Kelly, you just like jumped in. It's the most
I know.
And that's fine. We can place it in.
We're going to go back and like take that segment out
Yeah.
and put it where it needs to go. But yeah, I do think we need an intro. So
yeah.
You want me to do it?
Sure.
I don't know. Okay, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about one of the biggest topics that I think play an impact in everybody's life, and that's fear. So at the table, we're sitting here, Amanda, myself, and Anna, and we are going to explore fear and why does this play such a big role in our lives. So who wants to start?
I guess I can go.
Okay.
So this has been a topic that's been brought up quite a bit in the last few weeks. And I've seen a common theme, especially in my group on Facebook. And I would ask people things like, what is it that's holding you back? What is it that is not allowing you to move forward in your life, in your business, doing things, propelling you forward? And so much comes up of fear or judgment or, wondering what people are going to think. And I get it because I can relate to it. It's something that I feel us as women almost, it's like you're afraid to put yourself out there because you're afraid of what people are going to think of you. There's that mean girl that talks to you like, you're not good enough. You're not going to be this. And all these things come up. So I took it upon myself to write one day, it was last week, this mean girl was talking. She was talking really, really loud. And she was saying all these things. So I got out my sticky notes and a Sharpie. And I started writing down everything that she was saying. And some of the stuff was so crazy. I'm like, and I keep saying it over and over. And I had this mirror sitting in the corner of in my office. And I took the mirror and I set it on the floor and I started putting the sticky notes on the mirror and kept putting them on there. And I'm just like, whoa, this is crazy. Because I've always wanted to do something like this, but I watched other people do stuff, and I watched like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you got to do this. And it never felt right at the time. And then it all of a sudden just came over me. And I'm like, just start writing everything down that she's saying. But don't write it on a big piece of paper, because then that just seems overwhelming. So write them on sticky notes. So that's what I started to do. And then I took it another level, the next level, and I sat in front of the mirror and I took a picture of it and I posted it on Facebook. And I was like, whoa. And I know I didn't get a lot of reaction. I didn't get a lot of comments, but I know people were reading it. I know people were going, whoa, that's bold. Like, she just like took all those thoughts and put them on paper. So I didn't want validation. I didn't need gratification. I just wanted to put it out there. One, for me, and two, for other people to see that we're all the same at the end of the day. We all have that mean girl that talks to us. Fear will block you from so many things. And so then I took it to the next step. The next day I said, you know what? I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to turn these around, and I'm going to write on top of all of those mean girl thoughts. And I'm going to write, so I'm looking at it right now, and I wrote, you deserve all the money you receive. She cares what you write. She is listening. The unknown is exciting. I accept success. And it goes on and on. So I turned them around, and now I look at that every day. And by just doing that little exercise, you cannot believe the shift that has happened in my mindset, the shift that has happened in my business, because I am not afraid to stand out, because I know my voice needs to be heard. I know people are listening to me. I know people need what I have to offer, and it has helped me tremendously. And I also am using this in my program that I run every couple months, OYS, Organize Your Shit. I'm using it in my program, and oh my God, the women are starting to do it, and it is very vulnerable. It is very bold that they're putting themselves out there. So if you are struggling with fear, if it is blocking you, when that mean girl is talking really, really, really loud one day, take full advantage of that and start writing those things down and seeing it on paper. Getting it out of your head and seeing it is powerful.
It is, because I think one of the things that when you actually see it, you're like, oh wait, did I really say that?
Right.
Because if somebody else said that to you, that I feel, like I can't do it, or I'm not good enough, you would obviously say, what are you talking about? Of course you are, right? But we say it to ourselves as if that we don't believe it as well. But you would never say that about me. Why can't I believe that about me? But if I see it on paper, it's like, oh, I guess that is kind of a ridiculous thought. Of course, there's more to it. I mean, you can't just like all of a sudden write it down and be fine with it. But like you said, it's definitely the first step of like, oh, well, maybe that is kind of a ridiculous statement that Josie, I use Josie because I don't have a name, has.
That's the name of my mean girl voice in my head, Josie.
I think I've named mine Linda.
Oh, Linda, that's a good one.
Listen, Linda.
Sorry if there's any Lindas or Josies listening. It's not personal.
No, it's not personal.
Well, and that's the other thing. I think fear also is stimulated by what we take as personal when really it shouldn't be. You know what I mean? It's like we don't need to take things that personal, but we do sometimes. So there's a lot of reasons we do fear, but like you said, the first step is addressing it, or
and it's going to look different for everybody. It's a process. Like, don't think that, oh, because Amanda wrote it all out and the next day it all came to fruition. This has been a big work in progress. I have done tons of work on the years. Like, this is all leading up to right now. So don't for one second go, oh, I write them down and then it all of a sudden just shifts. No, it takes
No.
time.
Yeah.
But that's a good step.
And Josie, Linda, they never shut up. They
No,
never do.
They never
will
go away.
come back. But okay, so Amanda, as you're talking, you know that one of my gifts is like analogies. Okay.
Yes.
So so can I share an analogy with you all about this? All right. Have you ever noticed, have you ever noticed? Of course you have. When you're driving a car, your foot alternates between the gas and the brake, right? You can't have your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. Things happen that aren't really great for your purpose of moving to a destination. Now, if you want to like burn rubber, definitely you can do that. But that involves a clutch, which is outside of this analogy.
Right.
Okay, roll it back, Anna. So every time we start putting our foot on the gas to move forward with our goals and dreams, the car wants to slow down and our foot wants to go onto that brake. The brake is that nasty voice in our head that tells us that we can't, we're not enough. Whatever that Linda and Josie are saying to you, that's the brake. And it literally takes us making a choice to take our foot off the brake and put it back on the gas. Now you can put your foot on the gas at any like level of pressure you want. You can go slow, you can go fast, you can like rev the engine, whatever you want to do, you have full control. You also can slam your foot on that brake or just tap the brake. You're in control. And I think that every time for me that I've tried to put my foot on the gas and I've been making really great forward progress with my goals, my intentions, my habits, my relationships, inevitably that voice gets louder because Josie is trying to tap the foot on the brakes. And that analogy may have not been like totally great. I don't know. But anyway, I think you get the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
it's like, it's this duality of you will never be pushing forward on your goals without something or someone or the brake or those brakes, that voice in your head to try to slow you down. The brain is meant to keep you small and safe. It will do everything it can to protect itself, which it means protecting your body and protecting your survival. So whatever, like the brain doesn't just like differentiate between a physical threat, like, you know, somebody throwing a punch at your face, or that voice in your head saying you're not good enough. To the brain, it's both, like it's the equal. So it's going to try to stay small and safe and protect itself from what it perceives as a risk or a danger. So, you know, obviously duck the punch, but you know, if the punch is more of a mental punch of your self-sabotaging, you need to become aware that it's just survival. Your brain's just trying to keep you in survival mode. So actually in those situations, sometimes taking the risk of stepping outside of that fear, because isn't that how we feel? Our brain telling us to stay small and safe is we experience fear. We experience things like butterflies in our stomach. We get sweaty, we get hot, our heart starts to beat faster when we think about doing something that's not small and safe. And pushing through that fear like expands our comfort zone, so it won't be as fearful anymore the next time it comes around, because we've trained our brain to say we're actually big and like safe. We're not small and safe. Like we can be big and safe at the same time. So
it
yeah,
kind of reminds me of those old shows. They had the devil on one side and the angel on the other side, but you just got to make your angel be a little bit bigger than that devil, because they're always going to be there, but you want that one to be able to say shush. It's okay, you don't have to worry so much.
I mean, obviously there's fears we need to address. Like if you're in a situation where you fear for your safety, or you're in a mentally abusive or emotional abusive situation, that's not a time for you to go, oh, my brain's trying to trick me. That's a real deal, and you need to seek assistance with that. But you know, we're talking about things like, do I change the name of my group? Right, Amanda? I have this amazing idea for this course I want to build, this program I want to build, but I've never done this before. Am I able to do this? Am I enough? It's the stuff like Kelly and I were just talking yesterday or the day before about the group we have together, and my voice inside my head. And I expressed this to her on the call. I said, like, Kelly, Josie's been talking loud. Josie's been telling me that you're going to judge me for doing this, that you're going to think I'm trying to be the big boss, that I'm trying to take control, that I'm edging you out, that, you know, I don't want you here. And none of those are true. They are literally 100% pure BS. But that's what she's telling me. And I need to say, no, those are lies. They are not true. And the reason they're coming is because we're growing. And I have to say, I'm going to grow with this person, even though for me, this might feel risky. But it's not, because I know she's like, it's not. It's like this duality of like the fear tells lies and the truth feels unsafe. And how do you navigate those feelings and emotions and put into action what you actually want to accomplish? So it's
a lot of noise.
Crazy. It's a lot going on in your head and your heart. How do you boil it down to what is going to make you feel a sense of peace and calm and safety, but at the same time help you to move forward in your business? Amanda, you do this brilliantly.
I knew you were going to say something like, I feel as though I've
totally.
What?
You guys, wait, hold on for 1 second. I'm having massive internet problems.
Okay.
You guys keep going out on me. Am I going out on you guys or no?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Okay.
you're totally clear. I'm muting myself because I'm drinking and I still have a lingering cough from the cold last week. So if I go on mute, that's because I'm coughing or drinking.
No worries. Okay, keep going. Go ahead now.
So it's funny you say that because I'm like, and now I lost my train of thought. It's okay. Oh, okay. I think I got it back. Being able to decide what I want to do versus what people think I should do, or I think they should do, or like, oh, well, if I do this, is something going to happen? Like yesterday or the day before, it was the day before, because this is the 19th today. And on the 17th, something kept tugging at me. Can you hear me? Okay.
You keep going out, but go ahead.
You guys
keep going.
Okay. So something kept tugging at me to change the name of my Facebook group. It was Social Structure. And for a while, it felt really good. And I'm like, something's got to give. Like, I'm changing my whole brand, my direction, and it just doesn't feel good anymore. It doesn't fit anymore. So I did. I put out a question, or like I put it out into the community. I said, this isn't feeling right anymore. Help me, help me with a little bit of direction. And all of the comments that came in were like, okay, you're obviously questioning this, Amanda. So it's not feeling good. It's not feeling aligned. It's not feeling like right anymore. So you know what to do. It's almost like saying, like, you know what you're going to do. So just do your thing. And I got on a call with my friend yesterday and I started talking about it. I was like, I need something's got to give. And I actually recorded that call and I recorded the whole process of us going through it. And I actually just recorded it. I'm going to upload it into the group so that you could see the process of it coming up, of how I just said, it's going to happen. I got to figure out a name. And I didn't feel that I needed to ask for approval. I didn't feel that I needed to ask the community of, does this name feel right? Do you like this? Do you like that? At the end of the day, this is my group. I created it. I started it, but I created a space for other people to come in. And by me having that, in a way, I guess, quote unquote, control, or that it being able to step into who I am, I don't need that validation. I mean, I don't want this to come across as, oh, she's selfish, and oh, even though in a way Amanda is, but that's a good quality that I have.
Yeah.
But it's just, so does that make sense? Like, I didn't feel like I needed to ask for approval. Like, this is it. The second Leslie was starting like the shit show, I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. Yes. And then she's like, do the acronym for it. And it all just came together. And it didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like, oh gosh, is she not going to like this? And I kid you not, I changed the name. Within a good 30 minutes, the numbers dropped in my group. People started leaving. I was like,
really?
Yeah.
That's because they're afraid of the word SHIT.
I know. And that's okay. I'm not. I say that word. Like, it's a thing. Like, I'm not afraid to slip and say a swear word. Like, it's part of me. And I always hid it because I didn't want to offend people. I didn't want to make people feel uncomfortable. But yeah, I say it and I talk like that. And that's just me. I by no means do I sit here and swear up a storm in my house. No, it's disrespectful. I use it in a way that's not disrespectful.
Right.
So I guess some people felt like, nope, this is not the space for me anymore. And that's okay. It doesn't hurt me now. But if I would have done this a year ago, I would have been so hurt. Like, oh my gosh, she doesn't like me. Oh my gosh, they're leaving. Like, did I do something? Did I offend them? I'm to the point where I want to attract and repel. I want to attract. So that left space for somebody else to come in. So fear looks different for all of us. It's figuring out your way of, or what that fear is saying to you, because it's going to be different for everybody. And it's just figuring out, what do you want? Not what everybody else wants for you, not what everybody thinks is good for you. It's what do you really want? And you need to quiet the noise to figure out what you want. It's this whole comparing of, oh, well, she's doing this. Well, maybe I should try that. Or maybe I should do this. Even though, try it, see if it works. But you're going to shift and pivot as you go. And it's crazy.
Well, and own it too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of times too, people like, oh, I'm afraid to do this because I don't know. You know what? Own it. If you like it, do it and love it.
Right.
If you decide you want to switch, pivot. I don't love it. No, it makes me think of that. If you need to pivot, good. Everybody needs to evolve. If you stayed the same as you were today for 10 years later, could you imagine what you would miss out on in this world? And yeah, it's scary. Yeah, there's a lot of fears, but guess what? What are all the rewards? What are all the things that you can do? And it's like that one saying, you know, what happens if I do this? Well, what happens if you don't do it?
Right.
Or what could happen if you do it versus what could happen if I do this? You know what I mean? It's that, well, there's so many things that could happen that are bad. Yeah. But there are so many more things that could happen that are good. So it's all consequence. We all have the fears. We all have them. It's, you know, what was that quote that I gave you that one time, Anna? It's, you know, bravery is not the absence of fear. It's just knowing that there's something more important than fear. And at the end of the day, your happiness, your life, what you choose to do, it is more important than the fear, because the fear, all that's going to do is keep you down. Oh, that was way serious. Sorry.
End scene.
Sorry. No, that was it. And that was a perfect end.
Okay. Sorry. That was like really serious.
Kelly, stop apologizing. That was amazing.
Perfect.
Okay, good.
That was a perfect ending.
Okay, good. Yay.
Okay.
So I think that's a wrap for our first, for the episode, because we answered the question and we did the fear.
Yeah.
So
good. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm only going to be able to do one because I'm having fear that my phone's going to ring any second and it's distracting me. I mean, if we did a half hour once a week, is that, and then other times we could go longer, of course, is that okay with you guys? Or does that jump into your schedule?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry. Do what?
Like if we did each Wednesday morning, let's say 9:15 or 9:30 to 10, or it could be a different day. I'm just saying those half-hour segments might be easier for me.
So
but
say do it every Wednesday morning for like 30 minutes.
If you guys could do that, I don't know.
I mean,
I can make it work. I'd have to look. I don't know what my schedule looks like for next week or the week after for Wednesday mornings because my calendar's not in front of me, but I mean, we could try it.
If it doesn't work out, then we'll just go back to scheduling it when we have like an hour and a half and do 3 segments, or when we do have that ability.
Right.
We could do. I mean,
it's like,
can we be flexible with that?
It'd be cool if we could just start batching these, but again, it's like, I don't know. We obviously are trial and error trying to create a system here, but doing every Wednesday kind of seems daunting.
Okay. maybe we can try and do 2 episodes a time and then just,
Like 2 episodes every other week.
yeah.
2 episodes every other week. Do that for a little while, and then it's almost like we need to, and see, then we get tired at the end, bang out 4 in a day, but that's a
Yeah.
lot.
That's a lot.
I know.
And I mean, just look at the last 2 weeks and all the lessons we've learned and stuff that's come up, and like the growth we've had. Like,
it keeps happening.
Keeps
So,
it
yeah.
fresh.
keeps
Yeah.
it fresh. So, I mean, I
can
meet next Wednesday, and
I
let's
can
plan
meet
to
next
crank out
Wednesday because
2.
I have it written down the 26th for record at 9:30.
That was already something we'd had
Yeah.
planned
And
out.
I'll probably be able to do a full hour next week.
Okay, so let's
that
plan on
should 2 episodes.
let's plan on 2 episodes next week, and then let's all look at our calendars and see what we've got coming up for 2 weeks from the 26th. And
Perfect.
crank out another 2.
Right.
Sounds good. Is
Okay,
that the 7th?
cool.
I don't know.
Okay.
Math in my head.
I'll look at the calendar.
Yeah.
March 11th and March 25th are the 2 Wednesdays. That's like, so the 26th is February, and then
Okay.
the 4th is, March 4th is a Wednesday, and 11th, there's 4 Wednesdays in March.
Okay.
And we're getting in on Easter there at the end of March, beginning of April, I think. So spring break is probably not going to be the best time for me to record.
No.
Right.
We'll have to make a few, then we can skip a few
Yeah.
weeks there, because, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it might be that we need to crank out 3 a couple times just to get ahead.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, all right, but for sure
Okay.
next Wednesday, 9:30 for an hour.
Sounds
Cool.
good.
All right.
Okay. Thanks,
Bye,
ladies.
Bye, everybody.